Hey everyone. Hello. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. Uh, don't forget to comb your hair and do your lipstick. 1 out of 2 isn't bad, but I'm not going to let you know which one I did. It doesn't look like I combed my hair. I did, but the fan is blowing right on it. We have to do it over here because when I go to the table, which is over there, it wouldn't let me go live. For some reason, that's kind of a dead zone tonight for my internet. So I couldn't go live. Hey Shane, how you doing? David, Taco Bell. I would say they should have a Taco Bell here, but they have many fine Mexican restaurants, I guess. You can get tacos, burritos, anything else you want. I'm trying to monitor this. But I'm not sure how that's going to work. Oh well, we'll figure it out. There we go. Hey Mark, how are you doing, buddy? Mark's Mildly Interesting Adventures. His channel is down below. If you look in the list of other channels you should watch here, he's got great content. No drinks tonight, Shane. Well, I have drinks, but no alcoholic beverages. I have my big bottle of water. Nestle. It has been hot here, man. Really, really hot. I mean, April is the hottest month of the year here, but these last few days have been excruciating. There we go. It's been really, really horrible. Haven't been getting out, doing anything. Yesterday, as a matter of fact, if you didn't already see the video I sent to all my supporters, yesterday the only place we went was right up the road to the river, which is only a couple blocks down. We had planned to go on a little bit of a longer walk just to get out of the apartment. But you walk outside and that heat is so oppressive, it hits you right in the face. By the time we got down to the river, decided to have a little sit down. And then I was like, yeah, you know what? Just go home. We have a fan at home. Turn on the air con if we want to. It's just too much. Too much. Yeah, I've been watching some of the wrestling. Matter of fact, right before I started this, I was watching some AEW highlights. I have to finish that later. More vids soon from Mark. It is hot. Hot in the reap. That is for sure. Did you turn on the AC at night? I use my AC sparingly, but yes. Usually right before I go to bed. And then one of the first things I do when I wake up is turn it off because the electricity is, expensive here. And of course, if it gets too overbearing during the day, you go for a long walk, you come back. A couple days ago, I could not stop sweating. We had went for a walk. We came back. I was drinking lots and lots of water, but still just sitting here. An hour or two later, I just couldn't stop sweating. So turned it on for a couple hours, let it cool down, kept all the doors and windows closed, and then shut it off. It was all right, though. I thought it was going to rain, too. We are coming up on the rainy season. So I figure in about another 3 weeks, maybe, that should start. we had a late start to the rainy season last year. I remember it stayed dry for longer than it usually does. But hopefully that happens soon. The river needs it. The weather needs it. And it's always nice when you get that nice breeze coming in. You can just open the doors and the windows, and it's very enjoyable. I like it. Where next would I like to travel in Asia? I don't know. Vietnam, probably. I don't have any plans right now. Nothing's in the works, so I haven't really thought that far ahead. But that sounds good. Yes, I'm still teaching privately. Right now we have our online classes, and we'll be going back to in-person classes pretty soon, I'm hoping. I've been in touch with a guy that coordinates that at the apartments we were teaching at in person. And whenever they all feel sufficiently safe enough to allow that, then we'll go ahead and start. But yeah, I haven't. I figured I'd do a live stream because I haven't been able to go out and film anything. You know, not only because of the heat, but partly because of the heat, but because there's just nothing going on. There's no big parties, no celebrations, of course. Like everywhere else in the world. So everything's kind of at a standstill for right now. I heard they are allowing some. They are allowing travel into the country, except for 5 countries, I think, as long as you get your visa in advance. I'm not sure about the visa on arrival. Somebody asked me about that, and I'm not sure. I believe you have to get your visa in advance now. I don't think they're issuing visas on arrival. And if you come from one of those 5 countries, then you probably won't be able to come in anyway, even if you do get the visa. And one of those countries is the United States. Today I ate a pork soup. Matter of fact, I'm going to be uploading that to Senglai's cooking channel here after I'm done. It was a really quick, easy little pork soup thing we had for breakfast, and then we had a lot of leftovers, so we ate that later. And later tonight, I'm not sure. We'll have something here before we call it a night. But one of my stories is done for my new book, the book of fiction. I'm getting kind of antsy to get that out there, but I don't think I quite knew what I was getting myself into. My other books, they're all like, they're nonfiction. So it's relatively easy for me to write because you're just writing down facts and things that happen and things of that nature. Oh, there's Senglai. Say hello. Here she is, trying to crawl out from behind me. I'm sitting on the bed, by the way, as I explained, because the internet over there just trying to get as close to the router as possible. But I don't think I knew what I was getting into, just writing fiction stories, a whole book. But I got one of those finished, so now we're moving on to the rest. But the biggest hurdle for me teaching online, my classes online instead of in person, is that for me, writing a lesson plan is kind of easy because, you do it, once you start knowing how to do a lesson plan, it comes out pretty simple. But I have to learn a whole new set of things that I had no idea how to do because I'm dealing with online and technology. So it's kind of challenging, but I like it. Once you learn something, of course, you have that knowledge forever. Never know when it's going to come in useful again. Yeah, as soon as we get out and weather permitting, walking around. We'll go to both of the malls and do a tour of both of them, the Lucky Mall and the I forgot the name of the other one. Heritage Walk, I think it is. The Heritage Walk. That one's pretty nice. The good thing is once you walk to those places, it's cool because they're once you're inside, they're both cool and air conditioned and everything else. So that's always nice. Sometimes, because sometimes, believe it or not, even though you might be as hot as you think you can be, you walk into one of these air conditioned places, and a lot of times they just have the air cranked up the whole time they're open, and that can be a little bit of a system shock. You walk into an ice cold place from being out in that extreme heat, and it kind of takes your breath away, and your body don't know what to do. It's like jumping in a pool of ice water. Yeah, Heritage Walk is nice. I like it. You got all your Western things there. You do have you got the big cinema, the new cinema upstairs, which of course is now closed, so I can't do that as part of the tour. But they got the bookstore, Monument Books. Oh, somebody's at the door. Hang on a second. But they have a whole lot. I know there's a whole lot. Hello. Hang on, guys. Yeah, talk to you. Top? Yeah. There we go. She kept you company there. I'm trying to make fried rice. How's that going? How's the fried rice going? No, there was a knock on my door. I had to talk to somebody. Yeah, Mark was supposed to be here already, but of course, with all the travel restrictions, he wasn't able to. Fried rice is going slowly. Wait, is fried rice supposed to go slow? Aren't you supposed to be able to just fry it? I'm not sure how to make it though, so I can't say anything. I have no idea what I'm doing when it comes to rice. Back home, I used to buy rice in a box or in these little pouches that had holes in them, and they were already cooked. So all you had to do was boil it for like 3 minutes, 2 minutes, whatever it was, and then open up the bag and you had rice. That's how I used to buy rice. And that's really all I knew about rice until I came here. I remember the first time going down to the old market and seeing like 12, 13 different types and kinds of rice that it blew my mind. I was like, but I don't see any in the box. So what do I do? I don't see any in the box. Channel called I Am. Oh yeah, I Am Sash. Yeah, he hasn't posted in a while. I've heard of that channel. I watched some of his videos. I don't know why he stopped. At one point, I know he said he was growing pretty fast, and he was thinking of doing YouTube full time. And I thought, yeah, okay, I can see that his channel was doing pretty well, and then he just stopped. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure what happened there. Hello, for real. There's Claire. Yeah, it seems like now when you say passed on, Shane, do you mean you think he's dead or just moved on to somewhere else? Because I think it would have, his channel wasn't huge, but I think it would have made some people somebody would have known and probably said something if it was that he passed away. But if you mean just left and do something else, that's a possibility. I mean, I know a lot of people, they start YouTube and for whatever reason, they just lose interest in making videos anymore. There's a bunch of channels that started out good and then you don't hear from them for 2-3 years. Nobody knows what happened. But I don't know. You might want to leave, maybe go to his last video, go to his page, go on his last video, leave a comment, because obviously he'll probably get a notification about it and probably be wondering why somebody's commenting on a 2-year-old video, but you might answer that. Hey, Dave, I have Zoomy resources. What are those? I don't know what Zoomy resources are. Whatever they are, resources are always good. We all need resources. Well, yeah, you know, you don't have to explain it here. If you want to, just if it's something you can send. Oh, Zoom instructions. Yeah, something's up with I have Zoom, the Zoom extension installed on my Chromebook here. And I was trying to figure out how to record a session, but I think it's something you have to pay for because I watched the videos on how to do that from their page, and I do not have a button that says record. I do not have that button on my taskbar where they said it should be. So I'm thinking that might be a paid feature. But yeah, you can go ahead and send me the information. Message them to me on Facebook or however you want to. Email, Facebook, all that good stuff. Yeah, he was only 22, Thash. But he seemed to be enjoying himself in Phnom Penh. He had his girlfriend. He had his nice apartment. He seemed to like his teaching job enough. You know, sometimes, I don't know. You know, a lot of people will say, a lot of people will start a YouTube channel. They'll get tired of it, but they'll actually tell people like, you know, this isn't for me. I tried it. I didn't like it. So this is going to be my last video or, you know, whatever. But most times, I mean, if you look back on YouTube, when they start talking about how many channels are actually on YouTube, I mean, there's so many that haven't posted anything in 2, 4, 5 years. You know, some of them only have 3 or 4 videos. And I think it depends on the motivation. Sometimes people start YouTube channels for the purpose of making money. And I think when they realize that it's going to be a lot of work to get to the threshold and keep content coming, I think they realize it's not as easy as people were making it out to be sometimes. You know, do you want to make extra money? Hey, start a YouTube channel. You know, and that all sounds well and good, but when you realize it's actual work involved and you actually have to keep doing that consistently, then they kind of get off put, I think, and just figure, you know what, it's not worth it. Do you miss the cinema? I miss watching new movies. I don't miss the cinema. I have a couple apps I use. Like we were watching some movies last night, but they do have new movies, but I haven't seen anything really I wanted to see in a while. So we just watched a couple. One that I've seen many times before, but it's just one of my favorite horror remakes. The Hills Have Eyes. Single Eye wasn't a big fan of that one. She didn't like The Hills Have Eyes. A little bit too gory, a little bit too bloody for her, but I liked it. And then the other one was Brightburn. I only got halfway through that one before I was too tired to keep watching. Not that the movie was boring. I was actually starting to get into it, but couldn't keep my eyes open. So I'll finish that one later, I guess. And Brightburn is a movie you may have heard of. The trailer has been going around for a while now. But it's basically a concept like what would happen if you had a Superman type thing where a baby came from outer space, but he looks human. He had all these superpowers, but instead of being for truth, justice, and the American way, he was a little bit of a sociopath and decided to use his powers for evil, to seek revenge on those he thinks wronged them. And of course, it's a child, so it makes it even more scary that it happened to this couple. They decided to keep this child that fell from the sky. And as he gets older, he's realizing he's special, he's different, he has powers, and he starts using them for more evil purposes. So it's a thing like, what if Superman wanted to be evil instead of good? That kind of thing. Hey, Scuff Steam Reaper, hello. Yeah. For Real Channel said I will put up a motorcycle vlog tomorrow. He's been in Fallout New Vegas mode, the video game. And I agree also, yeah, just make videos when you can. I do get a little bit concerned when I don't make one for 3 or 4 days because I don't want anybody to think something bad happened or I'm not going to upload anymore. But that's why occasionally I'll just do the live stream because, like I said, the heat, I haven't been wanting to go out. It's been kind of a hot few days. Do you watch? Oh, yeah, Rike, I think that's how you pronounce it. Life Abroad channel. I've seen some of his videos from the Philippines and when he went to, I think he went to Vietnam. Yeah, Vietnam. I'll occasionally check out some of his stuff. He does a lot of really good videos with questions and answers. I think he has a lot of expertise on the Philippines and living there. So if that's anybody's consideration, you should check out his channel. He's got a lot of good information. Believe it or not, most of the YouTube videos I watch are kind of goofy, kind of out there. They're not really. I used to watch a whole lot of travel videos before I left to come to Cambodia from all different parts of the world because I was leaving the United States for the first time and wanted to see everything that was out there. And that's where I found most of the most channels like his, just doing YouTube searches and coming up with my recommendations and everything else. Yeah, there's a whole lot of, almost anywhere in the world you'd want to go and be an expat, you can find videos for. It was very good. If I were left Cambodia, what country would I go teach English? Well, that would depend. It would depend on whether I was interested in staying overseas or going back to the United States, because, oops, I think I'm I think I'm cutting out here. But anyway, you can always teach English in the United States online if you want to do just online. So it's good to know you have that option. But if I had to pick another country, I would have to do some research, because I would have to find one where you didn't need a degree to teach, but that would accept your TOEFL certificate and experience. Yeah, exactly. What Mark said. Making the videos is fun. Because I like getting out and showing people my point of view, what I'm looking at, what I'm doing. Because as you know, I love Cambodia. I think it's a beautiful country. I just like looking at everything. But sometimes the editing and the uploading, that can be the chore for me. Because the internet's not acting right, it could take way long just to upload a 20-minute video. And then sometimes it'll get halfway loaded, and then something will happen, and I'll get an error and have to start all over again. And days like that is frustrating. I think really when it comes to making videos, if you're going to do a lot of editing and a lot of cuts and put the music in, do the drone shots, that wouldn't be for me. If I had to do that every video, I probably wouldn't. I'm just not good at it. I don't have the patience to get it all just right. And I know people who make these amazing videos, and they're great to look at. And I appreciate the effort they put into it. But, if they're going to put together a 20-minute video, but it takes them 4 or 5 hours to do the editing, that's way too much for me. Editing sucks. Yeah. That's the way I feel about it. Even the very, very little editing I do takes me way longer than what it should. And so I go, man, maybe I won't do that next time. I'm just not good with the editing. But I like making the videos. I like being out and walking and talking. Which is kind of good, because I do like to walk. And if I'm walking, yeah, I got my camera, got my phone. Generally, I'll carry my gimbal with me most places, so it's just a matter of firing it up. Hello. It's just a matter of putting it together and starting. Sometimes I don't even know what I'm going to say. It's just like, I just feel like recording something, so let's get out and talk. But you guys probably realize that. You might listen to me and go, what is he blathering on about? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm just talking. Just trying to keep it upbeat and simple. Yeah, we've been talking about moving into another apartment for a long time. So we'll probably do that soon. Sorry, I got something crawling on my leg here. As soon as I just want to make sure that my landlord now is good. I want to make sure he's all paid up, and then we can, when we get the extra money to afford another apartment with the deposit, then we'll go ahead and move. It'll happen. I'm just not sure when, but it will. One with a pool, probably not. No pool. Those places are expensive. I'm talking probably the one down the street, that right by same apartments that Luke lives in. They have 3. Mama Vietnam has 3 apartments. Yeah. Yeah. They have 3 apartments. They're all $130 a month. Yeah. Yeah. So, and it's still in the same neighborhood, which is one reason why I haven't moved yet. I really like where I live. I like the neighborhood. It's really nice. It's fairly quiet compared to a lot of neighborhoods, and it's very safe. I haven't heard of any crime waves going on here. since I moved in or anything like that. Oreo cookies are the best. Your thoughts? I haven't had an Oreo in over 2 years. But yes, they are delicious. If you're going to have cookies, make them Oreos. This video is not sponsored by Oreos. But yeah, Oreo cookies are really good. And then they have the fake Oreos. I forget what they're called, but you don't want those. They're not so good. Yeah, the Ting Mongs. If you don't know what that is, check out for Reels channel. That's also in the description below. The link to their channel. They did a motorcycle Ting Mong tour. Very fascinating. I kind of like them. They're pretty cool. Pepperidge Farm, they have cookies? Pepperidge Farm, do they make cookies? And I don't know. I'm not sure, but Pepperidge Farms makes sausage, I thought. But I could be wrong. I mean, they could make both. They don't have to make just one thing. Yeah, I know. Scuff Seam Reaper, Mark was like that too. He was planning on being in Cambodia at this time. But of course, everything got turned around. I've heard that from a lot of people. Their plans got changed. Their plans got changed because of the Rona, and they couldn't make it to when they wanted to, which is a shame. But on the other hand, I have noticed the prices of some things going down. People are trying to get as much business as they can because the lack of tourism. Even some apartments that are normally, pretty expensive compared to what I'm looking for are now down reasonably priced because everybody's looking for business. Do you think apartment prices will go down after this? After this, they'll probably start coming back up. Once the borders are all open, it's all done, and tourists start coming in again like they used to, I think you're going to see prices go right back up to where they were before this. Won't happen right away, though. So I think there's a window that people get in on that window, and they can lock themselves into a nice little discount on an apartment. But things get back to normal. Prices are going to go back to normal. That's what I think is going to happen. Of course, I can't predict the future, so there's no way of telling. Yeah, like For Real said, there are loads of vacant apartments here. I mean, if you got dropped out of the sky into Siem Reap tomorrow with no idea where you were or how to live, if you had like $250, you'd have a place to live within an hour if you wanted to. Yeah, the official numbers here, the confirmed cases have been pretty encouraging for Cambodia. Of course, they did just open travel from province to province back up after the Khmer New Year. So will there be an effect from that? People that have been out in the countryside, they're coming back and moving around different provinces and towns. I guess only time will tell. But right now, the official numbers continue to stay low. So that's always good. She's back there staring at me. Hello. she's back there staring. Like if I was like this and then just went like that, it'd be like one of those Asian horror movies. People would be saying, "Who's the woman with the long black hair?" And I'd be like, "What woman? I live alone." And then everybody would freak out. Yeah. There's not much information. I keep getting alerts. Well, not alerts, but emails from the American embassy, the U.S. embassy, telling me so far, but they're giving me information about Cambodia. Siem Reap specifically, there's no really any official word on what's going on. There's no updates or details or anything. So it is kind of hard to determine. But even the U.S. Embassy emails will just say the same thing. There's been 122 confirmed cases. This many have recovered. And then they'll give you which airlines you can still get on. If you want to go back to the United States, you still have a window where you can do it, as long as you have a certificate saying you're COVID-19 free. And so much in health insurance, I think. But that's it. It's the same information. But even they will say they don't know how accurate, because they get their information from the government. So it all depends. You say, what's the next town along from Siem Reap? Oh, they have lots of. Depends if you mean a big city or, they have a lot of villages around here, little tiny towns. And if you go to one of the outer villages, chances are you can find apartments there for like $50 a month, but they wouldn't have any Western amenities. You'd probably have not all the time, of course, but you'll probably be dealing with a squat style toilet with a bucket for flushing, maybe generally probably no aircon, maybe an overhead fan. But as far as cities go, Kampong Tom's not that far away. Phnom Penh, actually no big town is really that far away. I think Phnom Penh's only like 8-hour ride or something like that. But there are plenty of options. It all depends on what you want, how you want to live. But even in town, you can find. I saw an apartment in one of the Facebook groups for. It was downtown near Pub Street, and they showed like 4 pictures, but they didn't show everything in there, so I'm not sure of the exact quality of an apartment. But it was only $85. It was a studio apartment, just $85 a month. Not sure if it has a kitchen, not sure if it has aircon, nothing like that, but still pretty cheap. No, I'm not considering moving out of town. I'll stay in Siem Reap. Where is the closest beach? That's a good question. I don't know. I haven't been to a beach. We have a river, but I'm not sure where the beach is. I think Koh Rong. Koh Rong would probably be the closest, or maybe Kulin Mountain. I believe they have a beach there. 3.5, 4-hour drive, I think. I mean, there are different towns that have beaches, like Sanukville has beaches, but not a lot of people go there anymore because of all the construction and development that's been going on. It kind of went from a laid back, hippie vibe kind of beach town to casinos and a lot of construction and a lot of access to the beaches cut off, and because everybody was building apartments and casinos. Yeah, $40 to $50 a month for some of those apartments in the Facebook groups. I mean, I've looked at some before that were, $50 or $60 or something. But again, I can deal without a lot of things, but I really don't want a squat toilet. I still think the indoor plumbing is the way to go. There's usually direct flights. Yeah, direct flights. Siem Reap to Phuket, Thailand. They have a big beach there. Nice beaches there, I guess. I've never been there, but that's what I hear. I'm just not a beach kind of guy, so I don't really know. I understand the beach. I like you go to the beach and you sit down in the sand and you're looking at this nice, beautiful body of water. People are out there enjoying themselves. You're underneath an umbrella, laying down on the sand, relaxing with a beverage. And that's good for me. I say, wow, this looks beautiful. I'm relaxed. But it only lasts like a half hour for me. And then I look up and guess what? I see the same body of water, the same sand, the same drink. And I'm just like, well, nothing's changed. Now I'm getting kind of bored with it. So for me, in small little doses, I like the beach. But other than that, I'm a city guy. Oh yeah, if you're a surfer, yeah, definitely you'll see that makes sense. I don't think the beach is bad, or it's just for me. I know myself well enough to know it would just be enjoyable for a short amount of time, and then I'd be bored. Which when you see those Facebook posts, people saying, "Would you live on this beach in this house?" And if you had to give up your internet for a year, they're like, no, I'd rather have my internet. Now, some people would be, oh yeah, that looks great. I don't move out of the city and live that beach life. But for me, no. It's a quick no. What does spleen dingo mean? Spleen dingo is a name I took years and years ago, like almost at the dawn of the internet age, when everybody was, when names were available. And it was actually the name of a bar band. There was a band actually named Spleen Dingo. And it was one of these that they played rock music, but they had really messed up lyrics, but they were funny to me. One of their songs was called Touch Me Where I Pee. That was their romantic song. So you can imagine what kind of band they were, right? But they did a lot of bars and gigs and things. And then at one point they disbanded, and the internet came along. I was trying to think of a handle, and that name stuck with me because I thought it just sounded cool. Spleen Dingo. That's actually the name behind that. It wasn't even my own. It was just the name of a defunct bar band that never made it to where they wanted to go. But I always thought the name sounded cool. I know before the internet, I used to actually be a CB guy. I had a CB, if you guys remember those. I had that big antenna on top of my house that I lived in. All right, I had my home base set up, and of course one in my car. I call those the original chat rooms, but only locally, because they would only go so far. But kind of the same deal. We used to have a lot of fun with those. So it wasn't really a big change when the internet came along with message boards. It was just like that, except widespread. I was like, oh, cool. You give yourself a little nickname. You don't have to tell people who you really are. That's pretty cool. Would I ever come to Siem Reap in my 20s or 30s if you had your time again? Probably not my 20s. I would have thought about it in my 30s, but definitely by my 40s. I probably would have come a lot sooner. But of course, back then I didn't know it was possible. I was always under the impression most of my life, that travel was expensive. Like to go anywhere, you had to be rich. Like only the rich people got to go to these places. Little did I know. And it was never really a big life goal to travel or anything. It was always something in the back of my mind, but nothing I ever took seriously enough to check into it or anything. And then one day I did. One day I was like, oh, I started seeing all these YouTube channels and people talking about how they travel cheap and you don't have to have a lot of money, and started to explore that option. Found out about TEFL and what that was and how that fit into the whole thing, and went from there. But yeah, I definitely would have been here in my 40s. If I would have known then what I know now. Because I think that was when of course, I might not have been Cambodia. Might not have been Cambodia back then. Because the borders have only been reopened in Cambodia for, I think, 30 years or something. So in my 20s, that wouldn't have even been possible, I don't think, if I'm doing my math correctly. But yeah, I would have went somewhere, maybe wound up in Cambodia. All right, I'm going to end this one now. I just wanted to come on and say hello, let everybody know what was going on, that I'm alive. I will be out making videos again, at least one tomorrow. So I'll be looking forward to that. All right, thank you everybody for coming out. I will talk to you in the next one.